Okay, very good evening, children. We'll wait about another 1 minute until our other students log. Okay, children. Okay, children. Very good evening to all of you. Okay, so today we are going to finish our lesson, static electricity. Okay, children. So next week we are going to start our third unit. Okay, generation of electricity. Okay, right. So children, we have put that soft copy of that relevant field into the group. Okay, so children, I hope that you get printed. Today we are going to finish our discussion related to static electricity. ස්ථಿති විද්‍යුතය සම්බන්ධව තියෙන කරුණු ටික සහ okay, I hope that you have this tute. Okay, the static electricity lesson. Okay, right. So children, we'll start our discussion now. Okay, right. Right. So children, can you remember we discussed about lightning? Previous week I told you what is called as lightning, right? I told you lightning is a phenomena, right? Lightning is a result of formation of static electric charges. Okay, children? Right. So children, we are going to have a look what did this Benjamin Franklin did. Okay, we are going to check whether what is the experiment of Benjamin Franklin. Okay, children. Children, be careful. Don't do this experiment by yourselves. Okay. ඔයාලා හැම මේක කරන්න යන්න එපා. Okay. Right, because Benjamin Franklin followed safety measures to do this practical. Okay. Right, children. Here, children, we are going to discuss now what did this Benjamin Franklin. Children, here Benjamin Franklin prepared a kite using silk cloth, right? Using silk fabrics, Benjamin Franklin prepared a silk kite, right? Okay. So then children, for this kite, he attached kind of a string, right? You know, when you are preparing a kite, definitely there should have a string for it. Okay. So children, likewise, this kite also there was a string, right? So children, this kite prepared using silk cloth. Silk රෙදි වලින් හදපු සරුංගලයක් මෙයා පා කළාලු. Right? So children, at the end of this string, there was a key, metal key, which has tied into this string. Okay, children? Right. So children, you know, usually we are flying kites during August and when we have dry wind and sunlight. But this Benjamin Franklin, you know children, scientists are bit of neither, right? Bit of messy. Neither විද්‍යාඥයෝ කියන කට්ටිය අපි වගේ නෙමෙයි, right? We just come, go, eat, sleep. But scientists have lot of things to think, right? So children, what this Benjamin Franklin did, right? He was flying a kite in lightning and thundering, right? නේද මේ ලෝකෙ මෙලෝ මනුස්සයෙක් හිතනවද ඕක නේද? හැබැයි මෙයා මේක කළා, right? So children, what happened when this kite is flying, right? When the kite is flying between these clouds, right? The lightning also remain. Then children, all of a sudden, right? What will happen? Discharging of the electric current observed, right? Okay. So by this key, right? From this key, there was a discharging of electrons onto the knuckles of his hand. Knuckles of his hand. What are the knuckles? Right? Knuckles means children, teacher Apinandane knuckles kandu here. Right? What are the knuckles? Right? You know, in our hand also there are knuckles. Knuckles kandu pantiyata ehema kiyanne. එක දිගට මේ විදියට තියෙන නිසා. Right? These are the knuckles of your hand. So children, what Benjamin Franklin actually felt, all of a sudden spark came and touched with his knuckle, right? Okay. So children, this experiment was very dangerous one, right? Okay. So to avoid problems, to avoid damages, Benjamin Franklin wear a silk ribbon in his hand, right, as a protective measure. Okay, children. So, however, Benjamin Franklin survived, right, and he identified that from this lightning, these static electric charges can be come into this or through this string, and it can be moved. Okay, so it can be discharged, the charges. Okay, children. So that was the experiment which was done by Benjamin Franklin. Okay. Yes. Right. Okay, children. So this is for your knowledge. හැබැයි මේක කරන්න නම් යන්න එපා. ඊට පස්සේ කියයි අර science teacher තමයි කිව්වේ මට මේක කරන්න කියලා. නේද? Fly kite නේද? නේද? කොණ්ඩේ හැලිලා දඟයාගේ පොඩ්ඩ වගේ වෙයිනේ. Right. Okay. So children, we'll move with the next. Okay. Right. So children, now take out your tute and turn to the page number 9. Right. These are the practical places where static electricity and the knowledge is applied. Right. Okay. Where are the places that we can see the practical phenomena. Prayogika sansiddhi. Practical phenomena means children. Children, I have seen, right? Not you, many of the students, right? In the question papers, when the question paper, they are asking, write the practical applications of this static electricity. What are the practical applications? Then you are writing practicals related to static electricity, right? Neither. You are writing all the experiment you did for static electricity. That is totally incorrect. Okay. Practical applications means children, prayogika yedu. In your day-to-day life, what are the places that you apply static? What are the places that you apply the relevant knowledge? If I ask, what are the practical application of this static electricity? Okay, so children, you can write down what are the practical places that we use this knowledge of static electricity. ප්‍රායෝගිකව මේවා භාවිතා වෙන අවස්ථා තමයි අහන්නේ. right? Don't write experiments and all these things. Practical කියන වචනේ දැක්ක ගමන් at the first blush you observe the word practicals, you think that that is explaining about the practicals that you did. Okay, that is not. Now children, we are going to check whether what are the practical applications of this static electricity. Children, I hope that you are ironing clothes, right? So as science students, you are ironing clothes during Sunday ne මං කියලා තියෙනවානේ විදුලි ඉතුරු කරගන්න කියලා. So due to that, all the clothes that you need is ironed on Sundays. So when you are ironing these clothes, children, what you feel? A tick sound is coming. A tick sound is coming, right? That is because of static electricity, children. So when you are ironing clothes, children, when you are ironing clothes, what will happen? You are rubbing the fabric. Okay, wait. Okay, children? Okay, so this is iron. Okay, so you are, right? You are ironing clothes. Make a electricity connect kalla na. It is not connected with electric current. Okay, so children, when you are rubbing cloth, what will happen? You know, because of the rubbing of the object, right? Objects get charged. Okay, children. Usually, our fabrics and all these clothes made out of polyester, right? Most probably the national curriculum, not national curriculum, right? Here, you know, government school students, they have white colored uniform, right? That is made out of most probably polyester mixed with cotton. So children, this polyester silk fabrics, when we are rubbing, what will happen? They are interested in electrons. Okay, they are interested in electrons, right? Silk cloth and here this polyester, these fabrics interested in electrons. So then when it is rubbing, what happens? These fabrics are going to catch electrons out from this iron. So then children, what will happen? Because of this discharging, because of this movement of these electrons, we can hear a tick sound. Okay, likewise. Okay, so children, that is about iron, right? Okay, so here we'll write. Okay, so other thing is that children, I hope you are watching television. Television බලන්නේ නැද්ද? I hope that you are watching television. Okay, so sometimes you may say that no, I am referring for mobile phone. Some are like that. Okay, right. So I am sure that you are watching television. Children, have you seen, right, when you are going to switch on your television, right, what happened to your hair on your hand? What happened to your hair on your hand? Right? You can see that hairs are going to touch the screen. What is the actual reason for that? Right? The hairs නිකන් යනවා ඇදීලා. What is the reason? Children, keep it in your mind. TV screen is negatively charged. Lot of negatively charged electrons are there on the TV screen. Okay. So then what will happen? When we are going to switch off, right? Rather than the television screen, our hair positive, right? TV screen have extra amount of electrons or negative charges on the screen. Okay. So here, rather than our hair, it is negatively charged. Okay, අපේ අතේ positive තියෙනවා කියලා නෙවෙයි කියන්නේ. අපේ අතට වඩා එයා negatively charged. So then you know, unlike things attract. So that means positive to negative attract. Okay. So then children, what will happen? Your hairs are going to touch the screen. Okay children, right. So that is what happening related to TV screen. So we'll write down little bit about these two phenomena. Okay, right. Here we'll, children, we are not writing much about the polyester and all these fabrics, right? We'll just write down only the things that we need. Okay. Due to rubbing in the page number, here in the page number 9, nah? Due to rubbing, due to rubbing in ironing, due to rubbing in ironing, tick sound, tick sound comes. Okay, tick sound comes. Okay, right. So attraction of hair into TV screen. Okay, this is the next one. Okay, the TV screen, the television screen, is negatively charged. Negatively charged. Charged. Rather than hair on the skin. Then hairs attracts towards the screen. Okay, right. Quickly write down.
Finish, teacher.
Okay. Harida, done. Finish. Or you need more time? Okay. So children, I think you may have written these things, right? So I'm going to move with the next. I hope that you all are okay. Okay? Right. The next one. What are the other uses of static electricity? Okay, children. So children, here, what happened in photocopy machines, right? In photocopy machines also, children, negatively charged paint particles are going to attach with the positively charged paper, right? Okay, that is also one of the place where that we use static electricity, right? So what are the other places? Paint sprayers. Paint sprayers. What is called as paint sprayer? Children, you know, unlike things attracting each other. So children, when you need to apply paint on the wall, right? What we are going to do, we are going to spray paints on the wall, right? So then when we are going to apply that, these paint particles, because of this shaking and all these rubbings also, right? These paint particles negatively charged rather than the wall particles. So then children, because of that, these paint particles are uniformly spread throughout the space. Okay, so that is one of the practical application, right? Paint sprayers, right? Okay, so what is the other thing? Laser printers, right? If you are going to get very high quality color printout or maybe high quality printout, you have to use laser printers. Okay, so in that case also they have used static electricity, right? What is the other thing? Other thing is that electrostatic precipitators. Electrostatic precipitators mean precipitation. Precipitation means pathanaya, right? So children, what they are going to do, right? So children, electrostatic precipitation is used to remove dust particles in chimneys. Chimney wala thiyena dust එක අයින් කරන්න, right? So here this equipment, right? So this concept electrostatic precipitation, right? The relevant chemical is going to spread it throughout the area, and then the chemicals are negatively charged rather than the wall. Okay, so children, negative to positive just attract. Because of that, the dust particles of the chimney is going to attach with each other and remove. Okay, children, so likewise this happens. Okay, right? So we'll quickly write down these practical examples also, right? Okay, in examination these things are evaluated. Okay, electrostatic precipitation or precipitators. Electrostatic precipitators. Okay, so what is the next one? Laser printers. Laser printers. The next one, photocopies. Photocopiers. Right? And then paint sprayers. Paint sprayers. Paint sprayers. Quickly write down. Okay, right. Okay, children. Have you done? I can see some are still writing. I have seen some question papers of some schools. They have asked what are the practical applications of static electricity, right? Sometimes they have given 4 spaces. හතරක් විතර දීලා තියෙනවා. දෙකක් විතරයි මතක. Right? So then children, it will easy for you to grab out these things because I have given 6 ones, right? I discussed about iron and then here, we discussed about television, the place we can see that right here. These are the basically practical applications. Previously, I saw that the phenomena where we can see that. Okay. Okay. Right. So children, I hope that you have done. Okay. All right. So children, we'll discuss about capacitors next. Okay. Right. Children, this is the last section of this lesson. Okay. Capacitors. Children, what is called as a capacitor? Capacitor is, in Sinhala we call it as dharitraka. Right? You feel like that is very dangerous name. Okay, so children, capacitors are electronic equipments. Capacitors are electronic equipments, right? And they can store static electric charges and discharge static electric charges or release static electric charges out. Okay, so children, capacitors are electronic equipments which can store static electric charges and which can release static electric charges for the circuits. Okay, right. So children, there is certain amount of the maximum amount of electric charges that can be stored in these capacitors, right? According to the way we want, we cannot charge these capacitors. Okay? අපිට ඕන විදිහට මේවා charge කරන්න බෑ. There is a maximum value. Okay? Here, right? So you may have seen sometimes, right? If you get a capacitor, right? They have mentioned like this. This is the maximum value of the capacitor. That maximum value means if they mention kind of a certain amount, that is the amount of the maximum amount of charges that can be stored in this capacitor. Okay, and there are 2 terminals of this capacitor, right? According to the terminals of the batteries that we are connecting, positive and negative terminals of this capacitor can be changed. Okay, right. So children, turn to the page number 10 and we'll write down or we'll define about capacitor. Okay, right. So children, capacitor is an electronic equipment. Electronic equipment. equipment which can store static electric charges store and discharge. We'll write down like that. Okay. Can store and discharge electric charges. Electric charges. Okay. So children, I am writing after putting a star, right? Here put a star and write there is a maximum capacity which can store the charges. Okay. උපරිමයක් තියෙනවා හැම එකේම. Okay. Okay, right. Now you can quickly write. Okay. Okay. Right, children. I hope that you have written this content, right? Okay. So have a look. Okay, right. Finish. Good. Right. So children, now we are going to discuss about how we can charge a capacitor and how we can discharge a capacitor. Okay, children. So how we can, what is called as charging of capacitor? Charging of capacitor means, children, right? Storing of static electric charges in a capacitor. Storing of static electric charges in a capacitor. ධාරිත්‍රකයක ආරෝපණ ගබඩාකේ. Storing of static electric charges in a capacitor. That is called as charging. Discharging means once we connect this capacitor, right, Previously, we connect this one with a battery. By connecting it with the battery, it stores the charges of this battery. Okay, right? So here children, you can see here negative terminal connected electron negatively charged here, right? Negative charges stored in this electrode. Okay. So here you can see positively charged, positive terminal of the dry cell is connected with the other electrode, right? So which is positively charged. Okay. Am I right? In these capacitors, children, we cannot find specific terminals. According to the terminal that we are connecting, right? According to the terminal that we are collecting or connecting this capacitor, its terminals can be changed according to the terminals of the battery that we are connecting with the electrodes of the capacitor, right? The terminals of the capacitor can be changed. Okay, right? Here, negative terminal connected electrode, negatively charged, positively connected one, positively charged, right? So here children, in this way, we can store static electric charges. Here, we remove the battery and connect with the bulb, right? So then the stored electrons and here stored charges release out through this equipment or bulb, motor, whatever. Okay, so discharging means releasing or removal of the charges out or toward the equipment, right? Okay, so here we'll write down charging means in the page number 10 now. Storage of static electric charges in a capacitor, right? Next one, discharging means releasing the charges from the capacitor. From the capacitor. Okay. Right. Now quickly write that. Okay, all right, done. Still writing? No, ne? Okay, right. So children, capacitor details. Okay, so here measuring capacity. Okay, children, right. So now turn to the page number 11. Okay, children. So how we can measure the capacity? What is the unit? You know, to measure length, we have meters, right? To measure length, we have meters, right? So you know, to measure small amount of length, right? We have millimeters. Likewise, children, to measure the capacity, right? We have the unit called farad. Farad. Okay? Farad. So, children, it is shown, that unit is shown as F. Okay? Likewise. So, subunit is what? Microfarad. Microfarad. So, children, subunit means, I told you, liters, milliliters, right? Likewise, these also have subunits. Farad, microfarads, right? Microfarads. Microfarad. Right? So then simple M and capital F. Microfarad. Sorry. Yeah. Here micro means this is not. Okay. Sorry. Mistake. Here microfarad. Children, micro symbol we are writing like this. This is called as mu. This is mu, children. Menna mehema piliyanne mu. This is the symbol for micro, right? Milli, micro, nano, pico. Have you heard that? Right? This is micro, right? Microfarad subunit. Okay. Micro. Okay. So here symbol of the capacitor. You know, children, there are two terminals for capacitor, right? So here, children, the symbol for capacitor is this one. Okay. Right? Because you know, for the dry cells, we are showing the symbol like this. Right? This is for positive terminal. This is for negative terminal. I told you that in capacitors, depending on the terminals of the battery that we connecting, it just change. Okay. Likewise. Okay. Right. Okay. So children, this symbol is called as mu. Right? U නෙමෙයි mu. ඒක ලියන්නේ මෙහෙම. Okay. Mu. Okay, children. Done? Okay, children. Right. Okay. So we'll move with this one. Parts of a capacitor. Okay. So children, parts of this capacitor we'll discuss. Children, now you know how we can prepare a capacitor. Next we are discussing that one. Okay. So children, here we'll have a look about this. Right. So these are metal plates. Okay. These are metal plates. Okay. Right. Okay. So here children, this is called as electrodes, right? Okay, so children, these are metal sheets. Meva loha tahadu, right? These are metal sheets. Okay, so children, these are called as electrodes. Okay, electrodes. Okay, these two are electrodes. Okay, so children, what is this one? This is children called as dielectric. That is insulating material. Okay, dielectric. Okay, dielectric. It is called as dielectric. Here, what is this one? These are called as terminals. Okay, these are called as terminals. Agra. Okay, right. Okay, children? Right. Okay. So, children, now let's move with the next one. Okay, we are going to discuss experiments. Okay, right. Now, children, quickly turn to the page number here. Page number 18, right? We have two more experiments, right? This experiment and other experiment, right? Okay, children. Right. Let's have a look. Experiment 5. Making a simple capacitor. Making a simple capacitor. Okay. So children, here for this capacitor, we need to have two aluminum sheets. right? And we need wires, galvanometer, polythene, 2 dry cells, right? And these things. Okay. So here aluminium sheets, wires, galvanometer, polythene and 2 dry cells. Okay children. Here children, we have to sandwich the polythene between aluminium sheets. Okay. We have to sandwich. We have to sandwich, right? Polythene sheet between aluminium sheets, right? මේ polythene sheet එක right sandwich කරන්නලු. Sandwich හදන්න නෙමෙයි කියන්නේ right? You know what is called as sandwich, right? Between two bread slices we are going to keep our mixture, right? In sandwich preparation. Right. So here children, we are keeping right like this. Okay. Here this is aluminium sheets, right? Both these are aluminium sheets. This is a polythene sheet. Okay. Right. So here children, connect the wires to cells. Okay. Right. Now children, we have prepared this. This is the 3D view of the prepared capacitor. Right. We are connecting this one. Right. Here with this 2 dry cells. Okay. 2 dry cells. Like this. Okay children. Then children, what will happen? You know, can you remember we discussed about charging of the capacitors, right? We discussed about charging of the capacitor. We discussed, right? Here this one, discharging. Now we are charging it, right? Our prepared capacitor, we are charging. Okay. After connecting this dry cells. Okay. So here, what are these methods? Sandwich, right? And then we have discussed that one, right? And then here, first of all, we connect it with the batteries. Okay. Thereafter, what we have to do? We have to remove these cells and we have to connect it with the galvanometer. Okay. Api galvanometer ekath ekka connect karana. Right? Like this children. Okay. Here I am drawing. Here I have not prepared the visual aids for this. Okay. So here I am drawing that. Previously we have connected it with the batteries. Now we are connecting it with the galvanometer. Okay. Right? Okay. So you know previously negatively charged terminal of the battery connected with the this terminal of this capacitor. Okay. Right. Here this is other one. Okay. Right. Okay. This is galvanometer. Okay. Okay. Right. So here now, right, you can see the indicator of the galvanometer, right? So children, what will happen after we removing all these batteries, we connect it with the galvanometer. You know galvanometer is used to identify small amount of electric current, right? පුංචි electric current එකක් පුංචි electric current එකක් අඳුර ගන්න තමයි අපි මේ galvanometer එක use කරන්නේ, right? We use this galvanometer to identify the direction and small amount of electric current. Previously we charged our capacitor. Now we connected it with the galvanometer, right? because of the previous charge, we can see that galvanometer needle deflects. Okay, right. Needle or the indicator deflects. Okay, right. Okay, so children, here we'll write down that in the next practical we have kind of visual aids to observe. Okay, right. ඊළඟ එකේදී අපිට බලන්න දෙයක් තියෙනවා. Right? Okay. Here we can write down the observation. Right. There was a, in this page number 18, under the observation, was a slight deflection of the indicator of the galvanometer. Right? Okay, children. So what is the reason? Because of the stored electric charges in the capacitor previously. Okay, right. We'll write down that. Right? It is clear that when the dry cells are connected to the capacitor, it can store electric charges. Okay, children, done. Finish. Okay, I can see some are still writing. Okay, children. All right. Okay, right. So children, I hope that it is clear for you. Okay, right. Right, children. So here experiment number 6. Now turn to the page number 19. Turn to the page number 19, children. Okay, right. So children, we are going to check whether, right, we are going to check charging and discharging of a capacitor with LED, right? Okay, we need to have, or we are going to check whether charging and discharging of a capacitor. Okay, charging and discharging of a capacitor. Okay, with LED. All right, children. So children, have a look. What are the materials that we need? Okay, we need 1000 microfarad capacitor, right? We need 1000 microfarad capacitor. Okay, here. And we need 3 dry cells. Okay, and we need small LED. And we need pieces of wire. Okay, 1000 microfarad capacitor, and we need 3 dry cells, and we need small LED and pieces of wire. Okay, right. So children, this is the method. Okay, right. So here children, first of all, what we are going to do, we are connecting the pieces of wire to the both terminal of the capacitor. Okay, we are going to connect pieces of wire both terminals of the capacitor, right? මෙන්න මේ තියෙන capacitor එකේ two terminals we just connecting with the dry cells. Okay, right. So here children, right, you can see that here this negative terminal of the battery has been connected with the negative terminal, not negative terminal, this terminal of this capacitor, right? So then that terminal can store negative charges. Okay, and here children, you can see this positive terminal has been connected with this terminal of this capacitor. Okay, children, right. So then children, what will happen? මොකද වෙන්නේ? Here this terminal is negatively charged, this terminal is positively charged, right? So then what will happen? This capacitor can store static electricity charges, static electric charges. Okay, so it can store, right, that charges. Okay, children, right. So then now you know what is this one. This is charging, right? This is charging according to your previous knowledge. කලින් දැනුම හැටියට මේක තමයි charging. Okay, right. So here next one, right, connect the other ends of the wires correctly to the dry cells, positive to positive, negative to negative. Okay, connect the other end of the wires, right, other end of the wires, right, with the dry cells, right, positive to positive, negative to negative. ඒක අපි කතා කළා. Keep connected about 30 seconds to charge the capacitor. Now negative, right, here this negative one, you can see this is positive one. We keep charging this one about 30 seconds. 30 seconds. තප්පර 30. Right? Thereafter, we remove this dry cell. We remove this dry cell and connected it with with a LED. Okay? Here, children, you can see that negatively charged terminal of the capacitor connected with the negative terminal of the LED. Right? While positively charged terminal is connected with the positively positive terminal of the LED, right? Positively charged terminal of the capacitor connected with the positive terminal of LDD. Okay, likewise. Okay, right. Here children, now this is overall setup. Make තමයි සම්පූර්ණ setup එක, right? මේකෙදි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ first of all this is showing, right? The batteries positive terminal here is connected, right, into this electrode. Negative terminal is connected with this electrode. This is charging of the capacitor. Charging. Okay, that is charging. Okay, so after that, what we are going to do? Right? We are going to connect these conductive wires, right? මේකත් එක්ක disconnect කරලා, right? Here we are connecting our conductive wire with these places, right? So then what you can see? You can see this bulb is going to light up. Bulb illuminates. Okay, we'll see what will happen. Na එහෙනම් බලමු මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා. Okay, now it is playing. Previously, it has been fixed with the or connected with the battery. Thereafter, it has been connected with the bulb. You can see that bulb illuminates. Okay, you can see this bulb illuminates. Okay. But children, after some time, that illumination, the brightness reduces. What do you think? What is the reason for that? Can anybody tell me? කාට හරි කියන්න පුළුවන්ද? Why that bulb is not furthermore illuminates? What do you think? What do you think, dear? මොකද හිතන්නේ? මොනවා වෙනව ඇතිද මේක ඇතුලේ? Okay. Here children, previously, okay, now I am going to again play it.
Teacher,
Yes.
is it because of the charges run out?
Yes, very good. Previously, because of this connection of the battery, it was charged. It stored the charges. So when it is connected with the bulb, it releases charges through this bulb. මේ bulb එක හරහා මේ charges යන්න ගන්නවා. Okay. So then children, because you know flowing of the electrons or the charges, that means it can generate current. Okay. So then children, previously the bulb illuminated brightly. කලින් නම් හොඳට දීප්තිමත්ව දැල්ුණා. But with the time, it was just stopped. What happened? Right? The stored charges, right, depleted with the time. අර charge එක ටික ටික බහින්න ගන්නවා. ඒක නිසා bulb එකේ illumination එක පොඩ්ඩක් අඩු වෙලා ගිහිල්ලා අන්තිමේදී ඒක නිවෙනවා. Right? Okay. Right, children. So once again, I'm going to show that. Here you can see previously it has connected with the battery. Now it is connecting with these two terminals. Now you can see this bulb illuminates very brightly. With the time passed by, this brightness reduce. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. So I hope that you understand. Previously charging, this is discharging because charged electrons released through this bulb. Okay.
Teacher,
Right. Yes.
teacher, how much time it takes to get run out the charges?
About 1 or 2 minutes, right? After that, it will, according to the capacity of the capacitor, it depends. Okay, right? There's a maximum amount of capacity or maximum amount of capacity is there for the capacitor, right? Likewise. Okay.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay, good. Welcome. Right. So here, children, We can write down when the capacitor is connected to LED, the LED illuminates. Okay, illuminates. Okay, right. Here we are observing charging and discharging, right? The reduction of this LED, then you know the reduction of the light intensity. We are not writing that, but keep it in your mind. What is the reason for the reduction of the light? Okay, with the time. Conclusion, right? When the capacitor is connected to the battery, it gets charged. Right? Right? Okay. It is. We'll write down like that. Get charged. Okay. In the second time, right? Okay. Right. Here, in the second time, no need to write second time because this is not observation, right? Okay. We'll write down the conclusion like that. Okay. The stored charges, කලින් ගබඩා කරපු charges ටික, the stored charges are released from the capacitor. Okay, right. So here children, the stored charges are released from the capacitor. Capacitor again stored charges released. Okay, that's why we can see that the bulb illuminates. Okay, I hope that you got the idea. Okay, likewise. Okay, children, done. හරිද? ඉවරද වැඩි? Finished?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, right. All of you have done neither. Okay, so children, are you tired? මහන්සිද? No? Right. Today you had a school also, like, okay. So children, right. I hope that you have understand right perfectly this lesson. Right. It was very easy now. It is very easy to understand all these things according to the way that we discussed. Okay, children. Here, children, I'm not talking much. නේද? දැන් අපිරිය වෙන තරමටම මේක කතා කරලා තියෙන්නේ. Okay, children. I'm going to wind up here for a while. Next week, we'll start generation of electricity. Okay, children? Right. So, children, I'm going to wind up here for a while. Thank you for logging. Have a nice week. Stay safe. Good night. Goodbye to all of you. Bye.
Bye, teacher. Good night, teacher.
Good night.